Good afternoon, everybody. It's Monday afternoon, July 13th. It's been a long haul, hasn't it? And I think these past several days have been especially difficult, especially heartbreaking, as we all have experienced a great loss in the death of Seth Nornhold, a young 16-year-old youth from our congregation who was very involved in the tech and running the soundboard for worship services, and who was an excellent drummer and delighted many of us with his music. And our hearts go out to his family. Our hearts and our thoughts and our prayers surround them, and we all are sad. You know, yesterday in worship we talked about when bad things happen, that God doesn't make those bad things happen, that God doesn't make COVID happen, that God doesn't make accidents happen, but God is with us in our most difficult and our most heartbreaking times. That God walks with us as the Good Shepherd, as a shepherd who lovingly tends a flock. God is with us with God's crook and staff that keep us close to God's side. God anoints us with oil and leads us beside the still waters of peace. And for that we are grateful. And we are grateful for the gift of one another. And I'm thinking, in the feedback time yesterday after the worship service, we were asked, where are you getting your strength? And I think for me, observing you all care for and love one another gives me strength and refortifies me and gives me energy. You know, there are 100 one another's in the New Testament. Bear one another's burdens. Encourage one another. Forgive one another. Bear with one another. And from Ephesians 4, I think my favorite, be kind, tender-hearted, and forgiving to one another. I have seen you all be very tender-hearted as you have shared yourself with the Nornholds, as you have taken meals, as you have offered to weed the garden, as you have offered to provide transportation. And you all have been very tender-hearted and kind as you have reached out to those who are ill. I think of Karen Wenger and the lovely quilt that the quilters made for her so that she might wrap herself in love as she thinks of them. I think as we are going through this time of a pandemic, that we have encouraged one another and found new ways of doing things, to be resilient and to share God's love with one another. You know, we belong together. That one another, did you know that in English, of course, it's two words, one another? In Greek, in the Bible, it was written as one word, that we need each other, that we belong together, and that we can offer God's love and God's care to one another. And that's what we're called to do as brothers and sisters in Christ. You continue to inspire me. You continue to encourage me. And I just want to say that I love you. And we will make it through these times together with one another.